Welcome back, guys. My name is Chris and this is Designs 1. In this video you're going to learn how to merge two pictures together, or how to combine them together. It's going to be a fairly simple tutorial. It's not going to take too much time at all. Probably just take a couple minutes, to be honest, and then we're going to add some effects to it when we're done. So stay tuned and let's get right into it. So the first thing we're going to do is open up Photoshop here, and I've got two pictures that we're going to combine. So let's go up here to File, Open. I'm going to open up the American flag, and then File, Open. We're going to open up the bald eagle. So you notice both pictures are open up at the top of the screen in their own tabs. There they are. So the next thing we'll want to do is, for the flag, we're just going to want just the flag. We don't really want any of the sky to show up in this picture. So the first thing is, let's go to, first let's use the selection tool here, and I'm just going to click and drag to select the entire picture here. Go to Edit, Transform, and Flip horizontally. I like the flag to look to face to the right. So after that, let's go ahead and scale it down. So to do that, I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, Scale, and I could scale it down using these, but I don't necessarily want to do that because I want to get rid of the background. So let's cancel that, and instead we're going to go Edit, Transform, Scale, or I guess I should have scaled it up, but since it's kind of difficult to play around with the edges when you're zooming that far in, I'm going to use the values up here at the top of the screen. And because I want the height and width to stay uniform with each other, when I make a change to one of them, I can do that by clicking this Constrain or Maintain Aspect Ratio button right here. So if I change the width, it's actually going to change the height to match whatever the width is. So for the width, let's go with a 350%, and then I'm going to use the Move tool after I apply it, so I can center the flag where it needs to be. Or I guess it's not really centered, but I've got enough of the stars here and the stripes to look good whenever I bring the eagle over to it. So I'm pretty much done with this picture, so let's flip over to the bald eagle, and what we're going to do is cut the eagle out. Or I guess we're going to cut the eagle out and then we'll copy it over. So to do the cutting, what we're going to do is use this tool here, and this is, or I'm sorry, we're not going to use the lasso tool in this one. We're actually going to use the quick selection tool. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the left mouse button down, and I'm going to hold it down as I drag it along the outer edge of the eagle. You'll notice that certain areas of the eagle, it's going to over select or select too much, but that's okay because we have this. Oh, and actually we actually need to go back a step. I'm going to go ahead and hit step backwards. We want to make sure the tool button up here on the left is selected, not the minus. So let's go back and do that again. You'll notice the cursor has a plus sign, so that's what we want. Let's redo that step over again. It's important to know that you're going to make mistakes. They happen. The best thing about this is you'll know what to do if it ever happens to you. So now what we want to do is, now that we've selected too much here, we want to choose our minus tool and just go over these areas that were over selected. And I've only got a few areas like that on this photo. Yours might be a little different. And feel free to zoom in as far as you need to do this. One more little area here, and then I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit further. And I'm going to kind of bring the size down here so I can get the tip of this guy's beak. So I'm going to switch back over to the plus. Actually, we need to, since we're actually selecting the background right now, let's use the minus. There we go. That's pretty good. Let's zoom back out. Fix some of these areas here. All right, I think that looks pretty good there. So the next step is, before we cut the eagle into its own layer, we're going to need to right click on it and do a select inverse. What this is going to do is it's going to select just the eagle portion and none of the background. Okay, so now it's just selecting the eagle. Let's right click on the eagle and choose layer via copy. So you'll notice over in the layer panel over here, the eagle is on its own layer. So now I'm going to go choose my move tool, and because our eagle layer is highlighted right now, we can just click on the eagle, hold it, and drag it right up to the American flag tab. Now it switched over to the flag. You know, make sure you're holding the eagle down still, and you'll notice, you see, you're giving a plus sign there, so you can just drag it and drop it right on top of this photo. Now I found that's the easiest way for me to do it. You guys might prefer to use a copy and paste method, but I like the click and drag. It just makes it easier. That way I can just jump right into this photo and position it right where I need it to go. All right, so it looks good there. Let's go ahead and just move it to where it needs to go. I might try to see what it looks like flipped horizontally. I like it the other way. I'm going to actually give it a little rotation so it's kind of looking upward. So to do that, I'm going to go transform, rotate, just rotate a little bit, apply, and let's move it down so that we don't have just hitting the down arrows on the keyboard. Back to the right, and I think we've got it positioned the way I like it right there. All right, so now that we've got our eagle in place, let's go ahead and deselect it by clicking on the select button up here and deselect. You can also hit Control D on the keyboard, and that actually looks pretty good right there. So now what I'm going to do is just add some effects to this photo. It still looks a little flat and not as lively as I'd like it to be, but to do that, all I need to do is, let's go to the eagle layer, right click, and go to blending options. And I want to give it a drop shadow. But instead of a drop shadow, I kind of want to make it glow. So let's go to linear dodge add, and I'm going to give it kind of like a bright yellowish, and raise the distance and spread. Actually, the distance can stay. It's going to be the spread and the size that really make this and give it like a glow. And let's lower the opacity just a little bit. There we go. That looks pretty sweet there. So that makes the eagle kind of stand out and glow. All right, so now let's hit OK here to apply that. And I guess the last thing I want to do is just three more things. Let's merge these two layers together. Do that, just right click on the background layer, merge visible or flatten in this case. I'm going to come up here to my image button, go to adjustments, I'm going to raise the brightness, the contrast, and give it a little vibrance. You'll notice after raising the contrast, that really made the eagle stand out quite a bit there. And the brightness kind of brings out the red and the blue. But if we even raise the saturation and vibrance just a little bit more, it just looks that much better. Well, hopefully you find this video enjoyable and useful, and if you liked it, go ahead and click the like button and be sure to subscribe so you see more videos in the future. Until then, so long.